Hi everybody. Today I want to do something really interesting that I have been wanting to try for almost a month now. And it is the iodometric titration of vitamin C. So you can qualitatively, mainly quantitatively, analyze the amount of active vitamin C in skincare samples like serums. So what I have done is I've gone to Ulta, I've taken several samples of different skincare items, popular skincare items that contain various forms of vitamin C. And what I want to do is an iodometric titration. So I want to take the skincare samples and titrate them with iodine to see if the solution will go clear, indicating that there is active vitamin C. This isn't going to work on every serum, but the majority of the serums this will work on because they will contain active vitamin C. So one of the main doctors that I watched that reviewed vitamin C serums on YouTube was Dr. Sugai from Dr. Lee. And he was really helpful to break down the concepts and look at different vitamin C serums, but I want to give a chemist's perspective on this and share my thoughts from a more chemical point of view, aside from all of the dermatology, aside from all of the aesthetic cosmetics, just looking at the pure chemistry of what's going on. In order to do that, I need to give you a better idea of the chemistry going on here. So I want to read my notes to you. So there are several forms of vitamin C. There's the active form of vitamin C, which is the L stereochemistry, so L-ascorbic acid. There's also Ascorbyl palmitate, Magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, Magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, and several other types that I will list down below and also here on the video that are going to be in the serums that I'm going to be testing today. The main reason why I'm interested in doing this is because titrations is one of my absolute favorite analytical techniques in chemistry. You either love it or you hate it, but personally for me, the time I spent in the lab doing titrations, it was very painstaking, but I find the math to be fascinating and very enjoyable. So I have with me today my analytical chemistry textbook just as a little reference tool. So the main idea is that there are many analytical applications of iodine. The one I will be looking at today is with ascorbic acid, particularly L-ascorbic acid, and the titration of L-ascorbic acid with iodine. So what's really interesting is that this is really a redox reaction at the heart of what is going on here with the chemistry. So there's a component being reduced, and there's a component being oxidized. So the reducing agent is going to be the vitamin C, or the L-ascorbic acid, and the oxidizing agent is going to be the iodine in its triiodic form, which I will put in the video. The idea of a redox reaction is that it is a transfer of electrons. So really what we're looking at is vitamin C is transferring an electron to the iodine. So because vitamin C is the reducing agent, it's being oxidized, so it's losing its electron to iodine. So acronym used for that in chemistry is oil rig. Oxidation is losing, reduction is gaining. So if the iodine is the oxidizing agent, then it's being reduced. Reduction is gaining electrons. So it's getting that one electron from the vitamin C, and that's what causes, interestingly enough, the solution to turn clear. So what I'm going to attempt to do is set up various beakers, and I'm going to attempt to titrate the serums with iodine, basically just super quantitatively, very off the cuff, just go for it. There's no stoichiometry involved. But to be able to conduct this and actually look at different serums that people haven't necessarily looked at or tried this way. The idea is that L-ascorbic acid is the active form of vitamin C, whereas other forms of vitamin C aren't considered active or as active, and so they aren't going to react with the iodine. So there will be a vitamin C in these serums, but it's not the most active organic form of the vitamin C that you could potentially have. So I have with me the samples I got from Ulta, so I want to go through these and just point out what I got. I've kept these in the refrigerator because I don't have amber bottles to protect the organic, so they've stayed cold until I've been able to use them for today. So I want to go through these and tell you what they are, the main forms of vitamin C that are in them, and then we'll set up the titration and see what happens. So we have the Clinique Fresh Press Clinical Daily and Overnight Boosters with pure vitamin C, 10%. And the form of vitamin C that this has is ascorbic acid. So what's interesting is that the PM packaging doesn't contain this is my problem. The PM packaging doesn't contain any, it doesn't say it has vitamin C in it. But if it's a system built with it, anyways, I digress. So this should have ascorbic acid in it. So I labeled it clinical FPP, basically just to say Clinique Fresh Pressed, like PM. Then we also have the Clinique Fresh Pressed Daily Booster. So that is this serum here. This contains ascorbic acid. This contains the active form. So this will be interesting to do, and those two together will be interesting to combine those and see how that reacts. The next serum I have is the Murad Environmental Shield Essential C Toner, which is not this one. It is this one. So this is what it looks like. I just wrote Murad Toner on it when I got it. And this has Ascorbyl Palmitate as the vitamin C form as well as ascorbic acid. So there is a combination of those two forms within this toner, which I found super interesting. So we definitely need to test that one out. Then I have the Dermalogical Biolumin-C Serum Brightening Vitamin C Serum. So this contains a few different forms of vitamin C. This contains Ascorbyl methylsilanol pectinate. It contains aminopropyl ascorbyl phosphate as well. So I just wrote Derm for Dermalogica when I got it. PeterThomasRoth Potent C Power Serum. And this is the consistency of the serum. This contains Tetrahexadecyl Ascorbate as the form of vitamin C. Then there's this new brand that I hadn't actually heard of, which I was surprised of because I'm typically really good about my Ulta catalog. And it's called PREBIOTIX Freshly Squeezed Glow 20% Vitamin C Serum. So this is what the serum looks like. I wrote prebio on it. And this one actually has ascorbic acid, vitamin C in it. Then the next one I have, which I don't have much of, which is very disappointing. There's only a little bit I could get out of the bottle because everybody loves Kiehls. So I have the Kiehls Powerful Strength Line Reducing and Dark Circle Diminishing Vitamin C Eye Serum. That's a lot of claims. Anyways, this one actually has the active form of ascorbic acid in it. So definitely want to test that one out. Then I have the Drunk Elephant C-Tango Multivitamin Eye Cream. This one has several forms of vitamin C in it, which I found very interesting. It has sodium ascorbyl phosphate, magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, tetrahexyl ascorbate, ascorbyl glucoside, and ascorbyl palmitate. Those are all really fun molecules, which I'll put up here. And here is what the sample looks like. So I just wrote drunk for drunk elephant on it. So next what I want to go over is the trends of the consistencies and the different serums, just kind of like give my opinion. So what's interesting is, of course, the toner from Murad is clear, as expected. The serums that have the active form of ascorbic acid are overall more of an orange tinge, and they are more fluid consistency. So this is the Dermalogical serum, the PREBIOTIX, the It Cosmetics, and the Clinique daytime serum. So let's see if I can get these together. You notice these are all light colored. And then we have the nighttime, the Drunk Elephant, the PeterThomasRoth, and the Kiehls, which are more meant to be like eye serums, and these all have a little bit more of a white opacity to them. So you can see these ones. Here is the Kiehls. Here is the Drunk Elephant. Here is the PeterThomasRoth and the Clinique daytime one. So let's test these out. What I want to do is go over the supplies that I will be using for today's experiment, if you can call it that. So let me put my goggles on, or at least get them ready. So I'm going to be using 25 milliliter baby bakers that I bought. If you compare it to the test tube, they're pretty similar in size. So I will have 1 beaker per serum that I'm going to use. My Pacifica C and C Love Vitamin C serum, and this contains 3-orthoethyl ascorbic acid, which is basically okay. So milliliter beakers. I have the vitamin C serums I will put into the beakers with some water. I then have this 0.1 normality iodine solution. As you can tell, it leaked a little bit during shipment. You can barely make it out, and I'll open it and look at it, but it is 0.1 normality. It's lab grade. There's 100 mils of the solution. And then what I'll be utilizing is just medicine dropper, brand new, to transfer the solution. This is what the dropper looks like. It's medical grade, so it goes up to 1 milliliter. I will be using additional personal protective equipment besides my goggles. I really do not want to get this iodine like on me, so I have dish gloves. Perfect. At home, kids. This is not a good idea. Also, okay, let's cut this open. You can barely make it out. It says iodine solution, lab grade. It smells just wonderful. If I spill it, I'm going to get it on the page in my lab notebook that is about the analytical use of iodine for titration. So what's the big deal? What I'm going to do is add about 15 mils of water, give or take. I'm going to immerse the beaker because I cannot commit to the pour. Okay, that was a fail. I committed. If you commit to the pour, it'll work. C'est magnifique. Okay, so now that we have our water set up, I'm only going to do a couple drops of iodine. So let's do a couple. Let's do 3. And I want something to stir it, but I think I'm just going to have to like, this is not what you should do. You should be using Erlenmeyer's to mix, but it is okay. So I'm going to add this until it turns clear. The Pacifica vitamin C is Emily L-ascorbic acid iodine solution. Here is the Dermalogica serum. This does not contain ascorbic acid. So this will be interesting to see how this reacts.
Because it is a serum, I will have to mix it pretty thoroughly just because of the viscosity of it, but I don't have any doubts.
And as you can see, because it doesn't contain ascorbic acid, it is not going clear. So the Dermalogica is not Emily approved. It's the PeterThomasRoth, and this does not contain ascorbic acid. So I'll be curious to see how this stacks up. Because of the opacity of the serum, it's really difficult to tell. But I feel as though this is definitely a clear solution. So I'm going to pass the tetrahexadecyl Ascorbate as effective for the PeterThomasRoth serum. Our iodine solution. Okay, so prebiotics. And the prebiotics is more of an orange colored solution. Yeah, that is a clear solution. It just has the serum in it. That is awesome. Prebiotics is Emily approved. Next one is the Drunk Elephant C-Tango. So I have like a pump of it, as you can see there. This, let's see, this does not have ascorbic acid in its pure form. So we're gonna see what happens here. I feel like I need like a baby spatula to get this out, but this will not mix well. There we go. Okay, that's our iodine solution. I'm gonna just take, oh, this is so hard to do. I need like a toothpick or something. Ooh, our solution is clear! Okay, so that passed the test. Even though it doesn't have ascorbic acid in it, there must be some active form of it because that went clear. Awesome. Drunk Elephant is approved. You can see as it's settling out that it is a clear solution. I love being a chemist and just pouring things perfectly. It's like the best feeling. So the IT Cosmetics also contains the active form of ascorbic acid. So we will see how this performs. So there's my water. I'm going to add a drop of iodine. Let's do 2 drops of iodine. I'm feeling gutsy. I would say this barely passes. Barely. Just barely. If we compare it, you can see a slight tinge. But if we compare it to like our failed one, I mean, there's a difference. So let's take a look at our lineup here. Okay, so we have the Pacifica, which I tested here, C and C Love serum. We have the Clinique, we have the PeterThomasRoth, the PREBIOTIX, the Kiehls. This one is Drunk Elephant, and this one is the IT Cosmetics. I would say, honestly, it's between the Kiehls and Pacifica. I think those have the most. And these are, the Dermalogica is okay. I would say that could actually go with the lineup. But the Murad toner was definitely not the move. So I'm actually super impressed that that worked. I'm really glad it worked. I think that's super interesting to compare the lineup of overall the different serums and toners and the different contents of vitamin C that they contain. I would honestly say, in my opinion, the Pacifica C and C Love serum and the Kiehls serum, which, let's look at the name again. The Kiehls Powerful Strength Line Reducing and Dark Circle Diminishing Vitamin C Eye Serum. Mouthful. But honestly, I feel like that worked. Those two worked the best. I'm very impressed. And shout out to 8th edition quantitative chemical analysis by Daniel Z. Harris for assisting us with today's experiment. Some other like random story time facts is when I was at Ulta, they were like, oh, we only have like 3 vitamin C serums. And I was like, girl, there is no way that you only have 3 vitamin C serums. She was like, yeah, we have one by Dermalogica, we have one by Kiehls, and then like one by like IT Cosmetics. And I was like, I'm going to find more than that because I know my Ulta catalog and there are tons of vitamin C serums, just not ones that you can like openly test in the store. So did a little hunting, found the pictures, and lo and behold, there are plenty of vitamin C serums at Ulta for you to test and try. So my recommendations quantitatively, it's not a great test for the contents of the vitamin C and the quality of the vitamin C, but just having the active form be present in the ones that claim that they do, the Kiehls and the Pacifica are definitely by far the best. And I am really happy that I use a serum that has a good basis of vitamin C in it, confirmed by the iodometric titration. The main goal of what I want to convey is that this doesn't tell you if this is going to be effective or not on your skin, but what's interesting is that the ones with the active form of vitamin C are quantitatively titrated iodometrically. So I find that super interesting and super fun and a great way to test it out if you want to test out your skincare to see if it has active vitamin C in it, the active form, and if it is able to be titrated with iodine. So this is in no way, shape, or form any type of recommendation for what you should purchase or a recommendation for what you should use on your skin. This is a chemist's perspective of a titration using iodine against vitamin C in various serums, and to be able to go a little bit over more of the chemistry and give you my perspective of that.